Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extraterrestrials, undesirable invaders from another world, the rest must be destroyed if possible in our dark past. Watch out and pray.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, local astronauts, and anyone who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have, as usual, way over in the middle of nowhere, Nick.
Everybody, Tasker, I got to tell you guys a story real quick.
Oh.
So I'm in a state right now where there's a lot of white people, okay? And with a lot of white people comes not a lot of spice. Let's put it that way. Okay.
So the rumors are true.
The rumors are absolutely true. Absolutely true. I did find a restaurant that sells legitimate street tacos. And I know they're legitimate because I'm pretty sure I saw your cousin working in the kitchen, Tasker.
They're everywhere. They're growing in presence all across the United States.
So long story short, your buddy, Nick, decided to get 12 street tacos and a quesadilla from them. Okay. And I asked them, they asked if I wanted salsa, and stupidly I was like, what is the spiciest salsa you have? And please put it on. They put it on everything, including the 12 tacos, the quesadilla. I ate all of it. And then I had Indian food for dinner and I got it extra spicy.
What is wrong with you?
I'll tell you what's wrong with me. My butthole is literally the ring of a volcano right now, and I'm suffering. Okay.
Like getting a rim job from the rocky brimstone tongue of Satan himself.
It's been horrible. I have a last week I had a mead hangover. This week I have a spice hangover, and I'm not feeling great. That's me. That's my introduction today. I'm feeling just awful.
There's a wonderful glimpse into your gastrointestinal issues, but it does remind me of back in the day when, when we were a little bit younger and just a little bit more stupid. Not because we have not grown very much at all over the years. And we used to go to our wing joints, and because with you, as we've just established, you're a big spice fiend. Am I correct?
I love it.
Yeah. Growing up, like you being half Hispanic, I originally was not super into spice. And then one day it just clicked. And like now I just can't get enough of it either. And I remember we used to go and get like almost 30 wings each of like half of which were like of like the spiciest caliber. And we used to send each other Snapchats from the bathroom the next day. Tears in our eyes, red faced and everything.
Holding on to the bathtub for dear life.
Exactly.
Just trying to make it through that shit. And it was bad. Today was really bad this morning. I'm still recovering, but I think I'm okay. Thank you for the flowers, fans, that you've sent to me my bathroom. It means a lot.
Yeah. And grabbing the bathtub is also nice because it's that ceramic. It's so nice and cool. It really, because I don't know. Is it like the kind where it's like the kind of experience where you just throw off all your clothes and shit because you're just sweating like a little piggy?
It was bad, dude. I was just in my underwear. I was suffering bad, dude. Never doing it again. See, I could have probably gotten away with just the tacos or just the Indian food, but the fact that I piled it into one day was a mistake.
One could say the pain was out of this world. One could even argue extraterrestrial.
It was extraterrestrial. And everybody, we are, as you can tell from the title, doing another introduction series on one of the most important alien races out there. But before we get into that, of course, we need to go through our horoscopes. You know what? I'm gonna go first this time, Tasker. I'm gonna do it.
You gotta live your dreams.
Thank you. So, have you been thinking of relocating, Cancer? The siren song of distant states or exotic lands may play constantly in your ears. Eerie.
Interesting, because how long has it been since you moved out of state? Like a month?
It's been almost a month and a half or so. So it's a little bit late, but Yeah, it's there. I mean, because we were just finalized on a house, so that's timely.
You see, you're already doing better than like all of us in California, because not only is it incredibly almost just irresponsible to be able to afford a house, but like they're also all burning down because all of California is on fire again. But this time it's like somehow gets worse every year.
Exactly. But that's what happens when people decide to be selfish and, oh, what gender is my baby going to be this time? Let's find out and use fucking fire during the summer. That's a good idea. The fucking dumbasses.
Dude, there's been another case where they use like a homemade bomb and the shrapnel launched everywhere. And I think it like chunked right into some dude's skull, killing him on the spot.
I mean, that's great and all, but what was the gender? What was the gender? I'm curious.
And I did hear that gender reveal parties actually started off because of a lady who would have, what's that thing called again? Where it's like you get pregnant, but the child doesn't make it.
Miscarriage.
And she would always have miscarriages. So when the baby got to the point, developed enough to be able to figure out what gender it was something they celebrated. So that's why the gender reveal party became like a thing, which is a really kind of sad origin story. But even she's like, they found her and like interviewed her. She's like, yeah, you guys need to fucking stop. This is the stupidest thing ever. Because it is stupid. Just announce it like a normal person. Get your Facebook likes and go home.
Yep. They had one shot at having a baby and they fucked it up. So
yeah. I love there was a meme about that where it was where it's like the kid who like grows up and realizes that his birth has caused like all these like wildfires, and it has like that still from the Prince of Egypt where he's just like,
yeah.
Father, no, did you do this?
Yeah, I remember that. There's more of my horoscope, but it's irrelevant. I'm going to switch it over to you because I just wanted to point out how eerily timely that first part is to me.
It always is, as we come to find every day. I mean, we have a couple misfires every now and again, but for the most part, these are pretty spot on. So
absolutely. What's yours looking like?
Let's see. This is a day of fresh beginnings for you, Scorpio. Accomplishments in the past foster a new sense of self-confidence, along with optimism and enthusiasm for the future. Travel lies ahead in the distant future, and possibly advancing your education in some way. Romance also looks promising. Go for a facial or massage today, if possible, or buy some new clothes. Start the new cycle by making your appearance match what you feel inside. So the reason this is funny to me is I've recently begun a nofap journey, and on a whim, purely on a whim. I'm still awaiting superpowers, and so when it says I have a fresh beginning and that romance looks promising, I mean, hey man, it's like me and Nick were talking about this a little bit off the air, but it was like this whole, you hit this point of you plateau. No, you have like your libido just drops to basically nothing. And it's weird, but it's also very liberating. It's like those memes that were like, I don't want to be horny anymore. I just want to be happy.
So how are you feeling with your whole nofap journey right now?
Pretty good, actually. Like I said, it's very liberating. It's kind of nice to have to not have to make time for that in my day. I mean, not that I disliked making time for it, but it's like a sort of, it's a sense of control. It's a sense of like, I don't know. And it's like, I feel like less depressed. I feel like, and not by like a lot, like it doesn't like cure all my problems, but I feel like I'm a little bit more gung ho about things, which is probably the testosterone buildup. But I'm telling you, I'm at this flat line right now. That's what they called it. And it's been like a little over a week now, and it's starting to waver a little bit. So I'm going to guess maybe another 4 days, and I'm going to like, it's going to be hard to just like not fap to like a wall decoration or like the pictures in the bathroom at Buca de Beppo.
Yeah, well, look, they wouldn't want you to fap to it unless they make it just so appealing. It doesn't. So I mean, it's not your fault.
Yeah, why would they make them naked if they didn't want you to fap to them?
Although in our defense, you need to be careful with that. There are pictures of children in that bathroom. All right, let's move on. That's disgusting.
way to destroy it.
Well, I just helped you out, so whatever.
Oh my God. Right. So anyways, wonderful start today. We've been talking about shitting. We've been talking about fapping, but now let's get into the creamy, milky center of this weird ass crock of bullshit that is the Pleiadians.
All right. Well, let's save the judgment for later. Okay, Tasker,
Right.
first off, everybody out there, look, we are talking about the Pleiadians. As I mentioned up top, they are an important factor in our survival as humans. They are one of the most important interdimensional and extraterrestrial beings out there. And this is a must-know topic, hence the intro series, okay? I need your notebooks, and I need them out, all right? I also need your pen protectors inside of your shirt pockets, nerds. All right. I know you have pen protectors, and I need them in your pockets. All right.
Well, it's been a while since we've had the notebooks out like this hard, right?
This is dire. All right. I need them to know what's going on. So I need them to write this down. They wrote everything down for the Reptilian series. They wrote everything down for the Grey series. And now they need to write everything down for the Pleiadian series. It is a must read to pass this class.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's usually with something, if we have an episode that starts with intro 2, chances are it's going to be a 101. Like it's a baseline level. You need to know this.
You got to know it, not just for the knowledge, but also for your protection, and also so you can. We'll get into it. All right, I'm getting far ahead of myself, and I'm freaking out right now. Okay, so without further delay, I want everybody here to just feel the light, and I want you to feel it around you, and I want you to bathe in that light of the loving teachers who are the Pleiadians, and I want to dive right into this subject with that light surrounding your crotch and your whole body.
Yeah, see, we were talking about cults last episode, and it's just you're not getting too much better.
I can't help it, man. You start talking about Pleiadians, I'm all over the place. I'm ready to roll, dude. I'm ready to do whatever it takes to let them inside of me, okay?
Well, but Pleiadians is such a fucking scam. It's like it to the point, as you will see from this, you will see that you could make some money off of this probably.
You could, and we're going to be going into that more on part 2. You know, as is tradition with our intro series, the first one's going to be a little bit more background. Episode 2 next week is going to be a little bit juicier. We're going to be getting into the nitty gritty, but I resent the fact that you called it a scam, and millions of middle-aged women out there also resent that fact.
Right. Yeah. Once we get to I won't spoil it because it's, you're not going to want to miss it. I'll say that for certain.
Okay, everybody, I hope you're ready. I hope you're bathing in your light. Tasker, are you bathing in your light right now?
Let me open my window.
There.
Oh,
now,
fuck! It's all smoky. I'm closing it. Okay,
close it. Yeah, dude, your whole state's on fire. Why would you have done that?
It's not like it's not like Blade Runner orange like how it is in San Francisco, but it's definitely orange down here. Like we're definitely like a light sepia filter.
Nice. Yeah, all the hipsters are super happy about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, they're using the fires to light their J's.
Hey, Tasker, are you bathing in your light right now? In the loving, warm light? Okay, close your eyes. Picture it.
Yeah.
Feel it. Okay, because I need you to open your mind for this episode.
I kind of don't want to, but I guess with the way it is in California, I don't really have much of a choice.
You can't leave your house. You have no choice but to let the light in right now.
Fuck. Fine. All right. Letting the light in.
All right, good. So,
not happy about it.
I know you're not, but save your judgments for later, unless you want the reptilians to win. Here we go. Let's first begin by talking about where the Pleiadians come from. Now, as their name suggests, unless you're retarded, these beings come from the Pleiades star cluster, which is also called the Seven Sisters, which is in itself within the Taurus constellation. Okay.
If all this podcasting doesn't work out, we can just make our own porn channel and call it the Pleiadian Seven Sisters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already working on it, but you can jump in if you want.
It's just us wearing wigs, and we use movie magic to make 7 of us.
The 7 dwarfs and the Pleiadian.
Not bad. Not bad.
And so this star cluster is about 442.2 light years away from Earth. And specifically, they come from a planet called Era. That's ERRA. And Era is within this star cluster.
More like error, because this is a stupid alien. Sorry.
Hey, man, save the jokes for me, buddy. I don't know. What are you talking about?
That, like, I felt like my organs just like shut down for a second as my body tried to end it at the source.
I'll give you a B+ for effort.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And so you're probably wondering, how do they get to other planets such as Earth if they're 444 light years away? Well, luckily enough for you, listeners, the Pleiadians' means of intergalactic transportation is one of the few that we actually know about when it comes to alien species and their spaceships. So how do you feel about that?
Well, is the spaceship cool? Does it have a cool name? Are they like fancy schmancy, like what are we talking about here? Is it like, or is it just like Rick and Morty, like shitty garage flying thing?
It's dope. It's dope. I'll show you right now. Check this out. So their spaceships are called beam ships.
Already dumb.
Shut up. Made, and these spaceships are made almost completely of light and are spherical in shape. And these crafts come in multiple sizes depending on the need, but the average vessel used is roughly 21 feet in diameter, and that's about 6.4 meters to our listeners, literally anywhere else but the U.S.
Isn't that just the thing that Dr. Manhattan makes when he's on like Mars in Watchmen?
I've actually never delved into Watchmen. All I know is Dr. Manhattan's the big blue naked guy, right?
Yes, and he has this huge like orb machine of light thing that he makes on Mars. Oh man, I should have. Fuck. I'm so bad at talking. Damn it. Oh, fuck. All right. Point is now moot. Let's just go on.
You stroke out for a second. That's all right.
I told you my body's shutting down from that bad joke from earlier.
Oh, man. And look, at this point, I think it's important to remind everyone that these beings we talk about don't just come from a physical location, okay? Just like the reptilians, but they also reside within different dimensions, planes of reality, if you will.
So another reality hopper, huh?
Absolutely. Most extraterrestrials are reality hoppers, and I like that term. I'm gonna take it from you. Reality hopper. That's nice.
Sick. Kind of makes me think of a frog too, which is really fun to think of.
Reality frogger.
Yes, reality frogs.
Reality frogs, dude. Make a shirt of it. Let's do it.
Fuck yeah. Dude, we are killing it on the merchandise this week.
Now all we need is merchandise.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
But of course, which dimension they live in is determined by their vibrations, as we have talked about before. Remember, notebooks, highlighted. You should know this already. Guys, if you don't, I'm highly disappointed.
So
okay.
It's like how with water and solids and gas, like their molecules vibrate at a certain frequency to make them of those states of matter. Just as same with this, the way you vibrate determines what reality you're at. It's just on a more supernatural level? Question mark.
No, it works exactly the way that solids, liquids, and gases work. But so gases vibrate the fastest, right? So they're intangible, right? You can't like grab it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're hopping all over, electrons just having a boogie. They're boogieing down. They're dancing around like it's 1999. Prince isn't dead yet, so they're still dancing to that song, right? But then picture an even higher vibration on different levels, and those are within themselves in a way that we understand it, a different form of quote unquote matter. But it's hard to explain if your pineal gland is calcified. All right, Tasker, I know yours is super calcified. So I'm trying to let me word this the way I'd word it for a third grader.
Okay.
There are three matter. There are three forms of matter in our third dimension, right?
Correct. Well, 4 if you count plasma.
Okay, you are that kid in the class who corrects the science teacher. Fuck off.
Yeah, this whole like intro series, I'm definitely like the kid in the back of the classroom who's just like, you know, watching like Family Guy on my phone that I saved on my iPod.
Yes. All right. So there are three forms of matter, three main forms. All right. Don't you dare correct me with that plasma bullshit again.
Fine.
In our dimension. In other dimensions, there are different vibrations that make up their forms of matter, the way that we try to comprehend it as a form of matter. But that's the easiest way I can put it without sounding like an insane person.
Well, you do sound like an insane person, and all of that sounds made up.
It's not.
That and the whole pineal gland thing, I think that's just a convenient excuse.
Look, just because your third eye's not open and you're like you can't take it out on me. You can't take it out on the listeners. A lot of our listeners have their third eyes open. We are starting to talk more to our fans, and just from the conversations we're having, you can't tell me that they haven't been decalcifying their glands. I know they have been. I've been watching them do it.
Nah, man. Nah. Well, no, yes, our fans decalcified for sure. As for me, you know, it's going to take a little bit more than that. Maybe like 300 episodes and a live tour.
All right, fine. Well, we'll get you there. We'll
see. We'll see how we'll check in when back at that point.
So vibrational levels depend on which dimension you're in, essentially. And with Pleiadians, it's really no surprise that they reside on the 5th dimension for the most part. And they are also said to be able to get to the 9th dimension, which is pretty much the highest that you can get.
So let me break this down. So in 3 dimensions, we have, you know, because you could break down dimensions with axes. So the first dimension is just the x-axis, it's just there. The second dimension, 2D, or what we see on paper, is an x and a y axis. Third dimension, where we are at, it's the x, the y, and the z axis, meaning now we have depth and a sense of space. 4D means there's another axis somewhere in there, and so on and so forth. The 9th dimension just sounds like a bunch of spiky, weird, indiscernible. It makes me think of what a dimension, like, you know, when like a 3D model gets corrupted and it gets all like weird and like all over the place and scary.
Yeah.
That to me is what the 4th dimension and higher probably looks like to us.
Tasker, look, I'm glad that you found an excuse to talk about art, but you're thinking about these dimensions as an artist and as a human on the 3rd dimension and not as a third-eyed open being. Okay, these dimensions aren't based off of mundane, arbitrary things such as axes. All right, they're based off of different. For instance, the 5th dimension, in which the Pleiadians live in, is one made up of oneness, love, and light. It's not made up of axes. They don't know what an axis is. Like, they don't know what time is. It's made up human things, man.
Well, this is under the assumption that dimensions are just like a whole, like a hotel hallway, and then the 3rd dimension's just a door, and you could just walk out and go into the 4th one. It doesn't work that way.
Well, we can't. So you don't think it works that way because we're meat sacks that live on Earth with like the lowest vibrational frequency of all living beings in the universe. We don't have the opportunity to walk through a door and go to a different dimension. Yeah,
you expect me to believe this Kingdom Hearts gummy ship bullshit?
First off, I don't know what that is, so don't yell at me about it. Second, yes, I don't expect you to believe it. I expect you to have faith in it. All right, have faith that other beings out there can move between dimensions and reside on higher dimensions. Because what, you're telling me that the Pleiadians' frequency isn't vibrating high enough to be in the 5th to 9th dimension?
I just don't think if you shake yourself like a Coca-Cola can, you can make it to other planes of existence. I think that's just silly.
That is a closed mind talking right there. That is the most third dimension shit I've ever heard in my life.
Am I being dimensionally racist?
You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem that we will be getting into next episode.
Oh dear. Stupid.
So these beings on these dimensions have vibrations so high that we, like I said, meat sacks on this earth that we call the third dimension, we can't see them on our own because they're vibrating so high. So
okay,
that is where they come from. They come from both another planet and also another dimension, a lot like other extraterrestrial beings that we've talked about.
You know, actually, I think I may have at some point, and this is actually no joke here, I may have actually accidentally gotten a glimpse of, because you said it's a dimension of love and light and oneness, right?
Yes.
I may have accidentally, because now I'm thinking about it, and I just thought of this story that happened to me too. Like I said, it doesn't change how I feel, but I'll just tell you the story. One time I had surgery on my nose, and my life was just fucked up. And then like I ended up having a post-op hemorrhage, and it was basically like hell on earth for like 2 weeks. And basically at one point, I was so sick of just being in constant pain that I decided to eat a fat edible that I was definitely ill prepared for, because at that time it had been like years since I smoked weed. So as it so happens, when you take too much, you start off like, okay, like, all right, feeling pretty good. I'm feeling real good. Feeling a little too good to, oh, fuck, like I am dangerously high. Like this is dangerous. And I can talk about this because weed is legal now. But it got to a point where it was like really like scary. And it's like, I mean, obviously you can't OD on it or anything like that, but like heart's palpitating. Like I feel like that's sort of like my whole body's starting to crumble. Like everything, you know, one could say my vibration was starting to go a little high, you know?
Yes, yes.
So in my panic, I realized, well, what's the big natural reset button? And I mean, I know it's just becoming a motif now, but I figured, you know, just rub a quick one out, you know?
Oh, Jesus. How was it?
And well, here's what happened is right towards the end, I swear to God, this totally happened. I suddenly just saw light, like just light everywhere. It's as if my entire vision just got whited out. And then I woke up on the ground, and I don't know, maybe I vibrated enough to reach Pleiadia, whatever the fuck it's called, or maybe I died for a second. I don't know.
Sounds to me like your vibrations were raised enough. That's pretty cool, man. See? And you're still going to deny that, though. See, that's the problem with you.
I'm still going to deny it. I just think my heart just stopped for a second.
Jesus. Hey, man. Look, you had your experience with it. And if you don't want to accept it, that's all you, man. But I am disappointed in you.
See, I was just more worried that what if it actually did kill me and that's how they found me, you know, like dick in hand.
Hey, there's worse ways to go. You could be dick in hand with a belt around your neck.
I remember we talked about that's the worst way to get assassinated is they attack you with a belt and then they just make sure to put their dick in your hand. Yeah. Not only would they rule it as a suicide, but also they find you. Oh man. Yep. Don't get assassinated, people. Lock your doors.
Lock your doors. All right.
Anyways.
Yes. Thank you for your another tale of Tasker's masturbation.
Oh no. I hope this doesn't become a thing, but it might.
All right. Well, now that we have gone over where Pleiadians come from, let's take a closer look at what they look like and how they operate as high vibrational beings.
Whoa.
Pleiadians are breathtaking individuals, okay? So I want you to go ahead and picture us as a species, but better. So like they are, we'll get into it. So as far as body types go, you all know where this is going, right? The men are jacked and the women are voluptuous. This is something that we bring up a lot because for some reason, extraterrestrials are both jacked and voluptuous.
Yeah, it's almost like it's some kind of like nerdy sexual fantasy or something like that being imposed on us through their stories.
No, it's an archetype, Tasker. There's a dimension for that too, by the way. There's a dimension of archetypes, and some of them reside there. All right.
Right. Okay.
So They stand anywhere between 6 to 7 feet tall, and they also have skin that has almost no pigmentation. So they're essentially albino colored in nature, or at least really, really, really pale.
Okay. So they're just grays, but more human.
Kinda. They're not gray. They're just really white. Picture like a really white person. That's the skin color we're going for.
Okay. So it's like almost translucent.
Almost translucent. Translucent. That's big word. I can't say big word.
We're killing it on the rhetoricals today.
Yes, I know, dude. Our language skills are. Anyways,
Good one.
Oh man. So the Pleiadians have beautiful icy blonde hair, almost silver in color, and usually have blue or green eyes. Somewhere on a spectrum there with the eye color.
So like Elsa from Disney.
Like Elsa from Disney, or like any Hitler Youth ever.
I saw a post too where they said Elsa is a very uncanny appearance to a porn star named Elsa, who like literally look. Why? Okay, I'm gonna stop bringing up porn. Why is this?
I know.
A motif?
I know why it is. It's because you haven't fapped in a week.
I know. It's relevant, and I saw it yesterday.
All right, look,
Fine.
man. Look, this. I don't know what you think this is, but this is not a cam show. You need to calm the hell down.
I'm trying to just make money to make ends meet.
Don't talk about meat anymore. Don't talk about fapping anymore. Don't talk about, look, I'm happy for you that you're raising your vibrations by lowering the amount of times that you touch yourself.
Yeah.
But you got to stop talking, because the more you talk about it, I bet you as soon as we finish this podcast, you're going to be like, well, I got to go. And you're going to run right to the bathroom and yoink, dude.
No, because I have fuck words. I have constitution. I can do it. I can be, what's the fucking word? You're very determined. You
have fortitude.
Fortitude. Yes. Fortuitous.
You're fortuitous. Yes. Okay. Look, I'm tired of this episode turning into a thesaurus meetup. Let's just calm down and move on with the subject.
See, now what would be a real tragedy if like my kink was like dictionary definitions? Then then this podcast would become like we'd have to start streaming on Pornhub.
We already are.
Hey, every avenue counts. Got to boost that search engine optimization.
Amen. All right, so let's move on with some more physical attributes of these Pleiadians. Their facial structures are like an artist's wet dream, Tasker. and that was in the outline. That was not meant to be.
So, anyways, they are very well structured. You are saying.
Yes, they have very high, prominent cheekbones, slight brows, and they have perfectly shaped ears, at least from everything I've seen about them.
So, on the scale of like up to elf, like what are we dealing with?
Well, with these features put together, I honestly believe that they look a lot like elves, minus the ears. The ears, obviously, that's a factor that doesn't match up with elves. We all know what elf ears look like. Every cosplay girl knows what elf ears look like. Every simp who likes e-girls know what they look like, but they don't have elf ears. Everything else, though, really reminds me of elves, and I have a theory about that I want to bring up as a side note here. In Norse mythology, there are elves, okay? I believe, because one of my beliefs is that gods, goddesses, different pantheons from around the world are actually extraterrestrial beings that the savage people of the days of old could not comprehend and thought they were gods and goddesses, but they were just extraterrestrials, right? So I believe that some Pleiadians were seen and confused with, and they made elves out of that because, look, that's, you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, well, in any sort of like ancient civilization, or even in our civilization, we see something that's so far beyond us. we're very quick to jump on the God explanation, because especially in a time where you don't really have like even logical thinking hadn't been invented. And yes, logical thinking was something mankind had to learn how to do. I think it was the Age of Enlightenment when like logic thinking like finally became like commonplace to like the common man instead of being only for like the elite. So you take a whole culture that doesn't have that, and then this thing comes down, a shiny ball of light, and they just like
they're the most beautiful thing they've ever seen, and they're just like, and then they made elves out of it. That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, if that was the case, if it actually happened, I wouldn't blame them.
I wouldn't blame him either, man. And speaking of the Norse pantheon, another quick side note. So because of all these traits that Pleiadians have physically, they are often confused with the Nordic aliens, but Nordics are, because they look very similar, all right? But there is, in fact, a difference, and they are two separate species. So just know that. If anybody ever tells you that Nordics and Pleiadians are the same species, I want you to firmly get your hand in a fist and shove it up their butts, because they're wrong and you shouldn't take that. And I want you to use them like a puppet. All right.
Sounds like a fitting punishment.
All right. So even though their bodies are large and solid looking in stature, remember that Pleiadians are vibrating at an insanely high frequency. So they are actually very light. In fact, they are essentially non-physical beings, at least not in the way that we as dumb humans understand the word physical. Okay.
Okay. That sounds very convenient.
No. You see, calling it convenient is very convenient, but opening up your mind to the idea is troublesome and hard to do for us humans. We humans don't like to think about it, but guess what? It's happening.
See, that theory works for when you're going to the gym of you get what you put in. But when it comes to believing something that ultimately does not affect our lives at all, it just seems like a waste of effort.
That doesn't affect our lives at all? Holy crap.
Zero.
Holy crap. Wait till the next episode. I know you don't read the outlines, so just wait till the next episode. It's going to blow your mind and you're going to take it back.
Yeah, all right. We'll see. We'll see if you can convince me.
Everybody makes fun of the Pleiadians. But guess what? You'll find out why you shouldn't. All right?
All right. Well, we'll see when we get there, huh?
Well, let's move on to a more non-physical look at defining Pleiadians. So we're going to talk about how they act, how they carry themselves, and most importantly, what the fuck is their damage? All right?
Yeah.
They're a little pretentious in my opinion, but we'll get into that. So you may be asking yourself, Tasker, wow, these beings from another planet and dimension are a lot like reptilians because they come from another planet and dimension, right? Are you asking that? And are you asking yourself if you should be worried about it?
Yeah, they got the raised cheekbones. They're basically the same thing.
Very astute observation, but dumb. You're you should feel ashamed of yourselves for being worried. All right.
Oh, wow. Why not?
Because like I mentioned earlier, Pleiadians come from a dimension made up of oneness, love, warmth, light, and Pleiadians themselves are beings of love. Tasker?
So we shouldn't worry about them?
No, in fact, we should be rooting for them. And they want to help the human race in multiple ways. But we will get into this and the different tasks that they have on Earth in the next episode. All right. I keep plugging it because I need you guys to just get hyped for it. It's going to blow your fucking minds.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on it too. So that's why it's just this episode's just kind of a big old tickling tease.
Yeah, this is just us doing the old gobble between the legs right now, just like getting you ready. It's nothing like the next episode though. The next episode is you're both going to feel happy and you're going to be horrified at the same time. And you're never going to be able to sleep again. You're going to be watching your back constantly. It's going to be fantastic. All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can't have a main event without a bit of an opening act.
That's right, dude. This is the foreplay to what will be my creme de creme of banging the next episode.
Which is also our code name for our usual part 1 intro series is Foreplay.
Foreplay. That's what it says in the outline. So knowing that they are loving beings, it makes sense that the Pleiadians carry themselves in a somewhat feminine manner, at least in how we understand the word feminine and its aspects, right? So they are quite, and I think it's also something I want to point out. We live in a society. We live in a society. That's not what I meant to say.
All right, Joker.
We live in a society that equates feminine qualities with nurturing and warmth, right? For the most part, like as a general archetype.
Yeah, and in terms of like fiction, and in terms of, like you said, like an archetype in vibes and an archetype and especially in art, generally when we see something as curvy and smooth, it's seen as like a motherly because there's that association there. And I mean, yeah, it's an artistic thing.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm not assigning gender roles here. I don't want Tumblr's army to come knocking at my door or anything, but I'm just saying that like that's how it is. So it makes sense that they carry themselves even the men they carry themselves in a feminine nature, in a feminine way, because they are loving beings that are nurturing planet Earth and humans. So there's a connection there, and it makes sense, right?
Yeah, well, it's just like in basic character design. Like usually the more villainous ones tend to have a lot of like pointy parts, just like how with like clown makeup, it has to be rounded because it's supposed to be funny and inviting. Whereas when it's pointed, which you'll see in like shows like American Horror Story or like other like clown villains, like what's his face, fucking Pogo, the serial killer,
John Wayne Gacy, dude. Oh man,
yeah.
that guy, man, he knew how to throw parties, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, and be it a mistake or not, it was pretty weird, and what a crazy coincidence that he ended up having the pointy makeup and he ended up being, having like 30 dead kids in his basement. So It's like there is that sort of association with like the pointiness of like, and it could be also too, maybe because he was evil in nature, the pointiness that association was never made because it's just so normal and easy for him to take in. It's that very, like you said, it's not so much the what's in front of you, but more of the internal, how we articulate it and that subtext of it.
Exactly. It's all about how do we interpret these qualities, and it just makes a lot of sense with the Pleiadians. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I'm not trying to assign. I don't want people saying that I'm sexist. All right. You know what? Look, I'm dropping it. Let's move on.
Yeah. To put a cap on it, it's like, it's just advertising. That's all.
It's advertising. Yeah. And also another quick point about the Pleiadians here, they're in my humble opinion, they are quite pretentious. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So what? You could save the Earth and the humans. What? You don't have to act all high and mighty about it. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
Oh yeah, I've met people like that where it's like they're very nice and they help people out, but they always have this like, oh yeah, you guys like need me. Like, oh yeah, it's just like, it's such a shit eating thing to be like. I just sometimes, dude, it's that whole thing where it's like, oh, I don't even want you to help me anymore because you get that smug ass look on your face.
Exactly. And speaking of being pretentious, what do they eat? Well, I'm glad that Tasker asked. All right.
Yep. Always curious.
Pleiadians are vegetarians. Big shocker, right? They don't eat meat because their innate compassion toward all living things, man, prevents them from eating meat.
Vegans.
Yeah, look, we've talked about it on the podcast before. We've both made our stance pretty clear when it comes to vegans and vegetarians. I don't give a shit what you do at all. I'm not just talking about being vegan and stuff, except for if you're furry, that is unacceptable.
No excuses.
No excuses. I don't care what you do with your life. Just don't shove it in my face. And then when I'm enjoying a nice steak, don't tell me that I shouldn't be enjoying that nice steak. How about you eat your turnips? I'll eat my steak, and we'll just move on from each other. All right.
One could argue you're like that one image online where it's like the guy's like, I make sure to eat twice as much meat to that some vegan somewhere in the world isn't making a difference.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not letting the cow go to waste. So you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Very true. So yeah, this will bite us in the ass someday, but not today. So let's move on.
Not today. Whatever, man. Who cares? Everybody knows.
That's true. I know. Yeah, we're starting to get a little looser on the podcast now. It's fun.
They're starting to know our true selves, and whether that's good or not, we will find out.
Yep. I don't know.
So Pleiadians are, like we said, vegetarian, and they also eat like us through the mouth, and they digest their food in an organ that kind of resembles a human stomach, but there is a difference. And this difference is that Pleiadians don't shit. See what I mean about being pretentious, dude? Do you see what I mean about that?
Brings a whole new meaning to their shit don't stink. It's like, no, they just don't shit at all.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. But what they do is they actually secrete their defecation through their skin. It travels through millions of blood capillaries and goes out of their skin, okay? And the final product is some kind of lubricating substance, and I could not find any information on what this substance is used for, but it sounds freaky, and I like it.
It's like you're trying to trigger me.
I'm sorry, man. I should have brought up lube.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I have strength. I have constitution. I have that word that you said earlier that I can't remember. Fortitude.
You're fortuitous.
I am beyond that. I can take a joke.
Your vibration levels are highly rising, and I'm proud of you, buddy. I'm proud of you.
I feel good. I feel real good.
Good. So another question arises when thinking about Pleiadians and their non-physical nature and their high vibration. How the hell are they supposed to interact with human beings then if they can't be seen or touched, or vice versa? So it must be all bullshit, right, Tasker?
Easily.
Wrong. Again. Wrong. Dumb. You're dumb for assuming that.
Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. Of course, I'm going to believe the lube shit that comes out of you like sweat.
Look, just because their digestive system doesn't work like ours doesn't make them any less real. All right.
Well, the fact that their digestive system gets them ready for a good fisting at any minute seems a little, like I said, nerd fantasy.
Hey, look, man, they are from the dimension of love. You know what I mean?
It's just too convenient. Okay.
So, that's strike 2, by the way, Tasker. You were wrong twice.
I'll take it in stride.
Pleiadians actually interact with humans on a soul level, on a spiritual level. So, I know it's kind of hard to think about. So think of it like this. Pleiadians are beings made up of very, very, very light matter, vibrating unfathomably quickly, and we can't see or interact with them on a physical level. But they are beings of love, as we've mentioned, and they're beings of the soul, Tasker.
How romantic.
And there are no borders with souls. There are no different vibrational levels for them to be hindered by, because souls are just your consciousness on a deeper level. And there's no vibration to that.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? You feel me, man?
I feel you, man.
I don't know, dude.
It's your dream to one day pack up and move to Jamaica, right?
I have actually said that before. I will move there. I've been there once when I was like 11 years old, and the second I got off the boat, some dude offered my stepdad a kid, and I was like, this place is awesome.
Whenever I think of that, I just think of that commercial with the kid with the candy dreads.
Yeah. Me be jamming with me candy dreads. You hear me, man?
If you ever have a son someday in the future, that will be him, unless that actually was you.
It was me. I was chunky.
We all were back in those good old days.
Like I said, souls don't have borders, and they can't be hindered by these vibrational roadblocks, we'll call them. So our soul is accessible to the Pleiadians, and their souls are accessible to us if they allow it. So I say if they allow it because we, as talking monkeys, for the most part, don't understand the intricacies of accepting other souls into our own for contact, and how we can go into their souls for contact. There are some who can do it, And we will get into that in the next episode. Again, plug in that next episode. It's going to be juicy, dude. There's going to be middle-aged women everywhere, dude.
A lot of heavy quotes on that previous statement, but we'll get there when we get there. It's regardless of my opinion on it, it's very entertaining.
Yes, exactly. And when Pleiadians allow certain humans to connect with them on a spiritual level, it's been regarded as an energy that overtakes the human body. It's a loving, warm, calming, and nurturing energy when they do so.
That's very sweet.
Isn't it?
No. This is fucking stupid. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Pleiadians, to me, it's like, I mean, I'll let you get away with the gray shit. I'll let you get away with the reptilians because it's kind of badass and stuff like that. But like, so you're telling me that's like if I had the power to jump into people's souls and I'm like, I see his little ape just chilling and I'm like, I'm going to jump in this monkey soul and hang out with him for a bit and see what the fuck he's got going on. And then Monkey's like, whoa, you're a god. I'm like, yeah, I am, aren't I? And then they walk away and they jerk each other off with their fucking shit secretion coming out of their arms. That's the defenders of Earth?
Kinda.
Ugh.
I mean, but see, you're putting it in a light that makes it sound like it's got an extra chromosome. That's not the case.
Yeah.
It's
a high level of degeneracy.
No, look, yes, they are pretentious. Yes, they don't shit, so they don't think their shit smells. But they are our best chance right now. And yes, they can go in. So the long story short of this whole last part is they can enter our bodies through a conscious soul if they allow us to. And there are certain people who are better at doing that than others, called channelers. And they essentially will give messages to people. It's something that we'll talk about later, but they'll give messages to the people of Earth. What can we do to further our existence, our acceptance in the universe? What can we do to fix our problems as a society? And I support them, but I don't like them. Let's put it that way.
Sounds like a presidential endorsement.
Yes. It's kind of like okay, we can cut that. I got nothing. I got no joke.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I fell into that pitfall a couple times.
Now, I think it's important to point out here that there are Pleiadian starseeds living among us. In fact, they are quite common as far as starseeds go. And there are different ways that we can tell. So perhaps after listening to and analyzing the questions on this list, you might come to find that you yourself or someone you know is actually a Pleiadian starseed. And if you can all think back to our starseed episode, just remember, what did you learn then and apply it to this now?
Yep. We're talking about starseeds again. Everyone's favorite. Learn your personality thing.
That's right. And actually, Tasker, I did bring an old friend back for this section here to kind of help us go through it. You can come on in. Oh my God, thank you so much for having me back. In case you guys didn't remember, my name's Persephone. And starseeds, oh my God, like let's just go ahead and start this off. And first off, I want to say I'm not a Pleiadian starseed myself, but I'm actually I'm actually a Venusian. So but I know enough about them to like actually talk about it. So Tasker, how have you been? I haven't talked to you in like, I don't know, it's been like 17, 15 episodes, something like that.
If you heard some mic bump and interference, that was me literally banging my head up against it.
Why? Like, what do you even, what? Why would you do that?
See, this is the moment where it's like, you meet a new friend. You go over to their apartment, you see there's a bunch of, they're like the type that put like healing stones on their airbag thing on their car, thus making it a claymore. And then you go to their house and it's just as bad. And normally you can't say anything because it's a new friend and you want to be polite. But in this situation, I could say all the shit I want. So I will exercise my right to roll my eyes.
First off, look, you're coming at me with some really harsh energy. I'm not appreciating it. Nick told me that this would be a safe place for me to talk about like what we do as starseeds and like help other people discover if they're a starseed, in particular, like a Pleiadian one.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Okay. I'll let the light in. Okay, sure, whatever. Let's get this over with.
Thank you, Persephone. So, so here's some questions that you need to ask yourself to find out, first off, if you are a Pleiadian starseed. Okay. Are you sensitive emotionally? So that comes with compassion. And if so, you might be a Pleiadian starseed. They are very sensitive to how they're feeling sometimes, but most of the time to how others are feeling. Isn't that right, Persephone? Yeah. So like, honestly, when I'm in a room, okay, I can sense people's energies and their vibrations, right? So Tasker, for instance, he is not having a good time right now. And like his vibrations, like they were raising because he wasn't jerking off, but they're slowly lowering themselves. So he's kind of like working backwards, and I'm here to help him move forward, right? So I'm very sensitive to the emotions right now. Exactly.
Rising is my fucking heart rate.
Look, I told her this would be a safe place. You need to calm down. All right.
Nah. Well, Persephone is it's just you in a wig, so it's really difficult for me.
and lingerie.
Yeah, that's even worse. You're like it's like those quick change like acts, except it's just Nick instantly is now just in like a see-through like bikini top and a string bikini thong.
All right. Well, the next question you need to ask yourself is, are you emotionally oppressed, Tasker? Are you oppressing your own emotions?
Not as bad as I used to.
That's good. That's good. But I ask this because Pleiadians often put others before themselves, and the starseeds might be neglecting their own emotions and needs in order to help others kind of like get what they need in life. And like Persephone said, she can go into a room and she can read the room and feel it, but is she feeling her own emotions? You know what I mean? Is she expressing her own emotions? No.
Sounds like a problem in Japan.
It is a big, well, that's just because they're backwards people. All right.
I was just reading an article about how their like culture is really built on like respecting others and putting what was it? They have, I think, a phrase that says the nail that sticks out gets hammered first or some shit like that.
That's a Japanese phrase.
Yeah, obviously in Japanese, but that's like a rough translation, which means, of course, yeah, you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be, which is, I have a theory of why all like, not all, but most anime stuff takes place in high schools, because that's like, I mean, it's starting to spread out a little bit more, but they say supposedly that's kind of like the last time you're allowed to just be and do whatever you want, because after you graduate and move on, you are stuck in your funnel of your job for the rest of your life. And I mean, I don't know, to our Japanese listeners out there, like if you have some thoughts on it, send it our way. I would love to know more about this. I have just heard that like things are so like for the crowd to the point that like, I mean, suicide rates are like some of the highest in the world. Their population is actually slowly dying out because not enough people are having kids. I hear sexual assault is like through the roof. It's, you know, it's that whole thing of like, you know, it's just sometimes being nice to everybody all the time doesn't always work.
That's a good way to put it. Yes. But I also have a theory about why most animes take place in high school, and that's because they're pedophiles.
Well, that's pretty blunt, but I don't. Okay, let's just go on.
All right. Well, the next question that you need to ask yourself is, are you an emotional sponge? And what I mean by that is, do you take others' emotions and let it affect you either positively or negatively? Because that is what Pleiadian starseeds do. Isn't that right, Persephone? Honestly, yeah. Like when I came into the studio, I was feeling really good. You know, you and I were talking before we recorded, and I was feeling really happy. And then Tasker started coming at me with these harsh like negative emotions, and now honestly, like I'm kind of getting a panic attack. So, yeah, I'm okay. Look, calm down. Just sit in the corner for a second. All right. But look, the point that she's trying to make is if you are somebody who can talk to a friend, and if they're having a really good day and they're letting all their stuff out on you, like the good stuff, you'll be like, boom, I'm in a great mood. That's awesome. If they're having a horrible day and they're letting all their stuff out on you, then you feel horrible, and it affects you to a detrimental point. Then you might be a Pleiadian starseed. Tasker, are you like that?
Like if we're talking realistically, a little bit, yeah. Like I know when people like kind of come at me with their shit, and it's like really depressing. Like not all the time, and it kind of depends like how well I know them. So I would say maybe leaning on it a little bit, but not like full blown. Like if anybody comes at with me with anything, I immediately like absorb that. Like, so I think like little teeny like it's I got like a sprinkle of it in there.
You got a little bit of a sponge action going.
A little spongy action there, and it's almost you think this is like the type of person where it's like they're the ones who are always giving like advice to their friends and are always like, you know, the kind where it's like they give a bunch of romantic advice but they never fucking date anybody, which by the way that you should take that with a grain of salt.
Yes, it's similar to that type of person where they're always the shoulder but they never have a shoulder, or they never seek out a shoulder. Right,
exactly. Self-worth, it's good to have at least a little bit.
Exactly. And that's why Pleiadians are fucking full. They're pretentious. This is what I'm talking about. Now, another question here is, are you a soul healer? And so this basically means that you can heal other souls just by being around them. But keep in mind, as previously stated, this can come at a heavy price on your own soul and emotions. Is that something that you see yourself as, Tasker? Are you a soul healer?
So you can help others, but at your own nah, not really. I feel if I ever find myself in a position of aid for somebody else, it feels good to help people.
No, I mean, like, can you do it? It can come at a heavy price, but it doesn't always come at. So are you somebody who could heal other souls just in general? You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck no. Hell no. Not at all.
All right, well, there you go. There's your answer.
We can talk things through, but that's about as far as I can go. This soul shit, I don't know.
Persephone, are you a soul healer? And I think I know the answer to this. Actually, thank you for asking, Nick. I am a soul healer. I can heal souls, but also I can heal using different herbs, different crystals. Did you know that water actually has it's like a memory of its own? So like if you put gems inside of the water, it'll absorb those vibrations, and if you drink the water, it'll heal like your soul as well. So there's like multiple ways for you to heal souls, basically.
Yeah. Did you also know that if you go pick cannabis sativa, dry it out, light it on fire, and inhale it, it turns all your bad feelings into good ones?
Yeah, that's called weed. Like we all know that.
Dear God. We're just becoming a regular comedy troupe now, huh?
Yeah. What the hell is this? What's going on here? The next question, Tasker, are you more intuitive than the mortals that surround you? Pleiadian starseeds, like a lot of other starseeds, have innate psychic abilities and a strong intuition, and not to mention have a lot of more paranormal experiences than others do. Is that something that sounds like you?
I am so thankful that I do not have a whole lot of paranormal experiences, because that shit would ruin my life forever. I would be like, what's her face? Esther from the Ghost episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where my life would just be a living nightmare. So, no, I don't have a lot of psychic anything like that, which is I'm okay with it. I don't want it. It's not an invitation, not asking for it. I'm plenty happy. In terms of intuition, I feel like it's hit or miss. Like, I don't know. My big thing of the way I've reasoned it is I feel like I'm lucky when it counts. But for the most part, like, yeah, I'm kind of like here and there. Like it's sometimes I have a couple good ideas. A lot of times they're not so great ideas when put into action. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, definitely not enough to on a Pleiadian level.
That's fine. But hey, if you have some intuition is better than no intuition, in my opinion. So like, for instance, I don't connect with almost anything on this list except for this one. My intuition is so powerful that I've given it a name. As you know, Magician's Brown knows things and is always right. And when I call something, it happens. My intuition is out of this world.
It's unfortunately true. Like, yeah, Nick has called some pretty far off shit. And there was one blip that I know you will argue to the ends of the earth was just it was more of a timing issue. And I'm talking about No Man's Sky. But
jeez.
That's the only time there was ever any sort of hiccup, one could argue, which Nick will argue was not a hiccup at all, but you know, because it got better.
Yeah, I didn't say when it was going to be good. I just said it was going to be good.
Yeah, fucking yeah, right. Yeah, nice save is my response every time.
Oh man. So you know what? Actually, speaking of intuition and higher paranormal experiences than other people, for this part, a fan, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name, was telling us about a paranormal experience they had, and it was creepy, dude. So yeah, dude, it was fucking crazy.
Well, keep sending us stuff. Like, if you are out there and you have not sent us a story, we need enough material to make a full episode so we can have your stories in there. And because that's the thing is, like, you know, we always try to at least break the hour mark, and we need more material. So please send them.
Yes, because Halloween is coming up and October is coming up, and we want to do a sort of a listener local legend type episode for October. So please email it to us and we'll read it out loud.
Yep, it'll be fun, and may or may not hurt your feelings. We can't really guarantee anything.
I was going to say, we're going to make jokes, but don't take it personally.
So you've been warned.
Next up, are you an incredible communicator? So if you are able to communicate your thoughts and feelings in an elegant, well-articulated manner, you might be a Pleiadian starseed. Tasker, knowing you for as long as I've known you, I would say you're a great communicator. Do you think you are a Pleiadian starseed?
Well, if you rewind back to about 40 minutes ago when I had my I would say I have my moments, but I also do not at the same time.
Okay. That was a hiccup that you had. I think you almost had a brain aneurysm. So we won't count it against you.
Yeah. I mean, well, to put it in this way, with communication, sometimes it's just as much as how you say it and the word choices you pick instead of the meaning, like, you know, because you could say essentially the same sentence 3 different ways, but there's a way that's better for the situation, you know, because it's like you could be saying, like, I had a situation where it was me and a couple friends, and one person was going through something really difficult, and one of my friends tried to help and described like a certain, like, oh, here, you should do this, gave a suggestion. And the friend was like, that I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't help me. And so I took a stab at it. And this is not a like gloating thing. I'm just trying to make an example. Is in essence, I said exactly what they said, but reworded it in a different way, and in a way that articulated to the fact of, I'm not only trying to help, but I'm also showing respect to this person of going through hardship. And I'm not going to talk down to them, or I'm going to make them feel like I am barking at them and or lecturing them. It's the word choice, and it's how you say it. And I think just being conscious of that makes a huge difference to how people react to what you say. And because all of that stuff matters. And then, of course, shortly after, the other friend got really mad at me, like, and yelled, it was like, you just said the same shit, but differently. And it was kind of funny in the moment, but that's the point, though, is he wasn't wrong. I did say the same shit he did, just differently, and he had every right to be a little pissed at me because it just felt like I just yoinked what he did and just improved it and called it my own, which is true. But that's a tangent that was mildly unnecessary. But that's kind of where the communication, at least how I view communication, and like how that how one could find themselves to be possibly, hopefully, a little bit more successful at it. This is not advice you should take 100%. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not always on it.
That was the most Pleiadian shit I've ever heard.
Fuck. God damn.
So I got bad news for you, buddy.
No. I don't want to be a Pleiadian.
Oh, too bad. Too bad. Persephone, give me your opinion on this. What's going on? Tasker, guess what? That was beautiful. How you just like made that friend feel so much better just with your words, just with your soul opening up to that person. Like, you should be really proud of the person you're becoming. Thank you, Persephone. See, now, Tasker, you have no reason to deny. You've answered pretty positively to most of these questions so far. Just pointing it out. And this next one definitely applies to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward.
Right, let's hear it.
So, lastly, and speaking of elegance, are you an elegant and feminine in nature, Tasker? I would say yes.
Elegant, little iffy. I could definitely be a little on the feminine side, but you wouldn't know it by looking at me, probably.
Not by looking at you, but by talking to you.
God, oh. Fuck.
So, that answers that question. Look, from the list that we've gone through here, I'm sure you picked up on the fact that I was asking you your personal opinions on this because I know that you believe it's bullshit, but you answered, like I said, positively to these. How does it feel to be a reincarnated Pleiadian soul trapped on Earth?
Doesn't feel good. I'm trying to stuff it down as much as I can, dude. I can't be having, I gotta be rougher and tougher for this world.
Well, there's one thing you can do for this world, Tasker, and it's save it. All right. That is your duty. That is your goal as a Pleiadian starseed. So thank you. And Persephone, thank you for being here for this segment. We appreciate it. Yes, of course. Bring me back literally anytime. I am now selling essential oils. No, get the fuck out of here. All right. I don't want your essential oils. Tasker doesn't want your essential oils. Bounce.
Yeah, it's definitely a front for the narcotics she's peddling in the back alley.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it was coke that she was talking. I think that was code for something. All right. So, yeah.
Kind of be messing with her. A little sniffly today, too.
Yeah, I got a nosebleed when she came in here. Okay, so Persephone is now gone. So thank you.
Sorry, really quick. What was that one thing you called it forever ago? Coke, as you called it, a nose beer?
Nose beer. Yep.
Horrible.
So everybody, that's it for part 1 of Pleiadians. Next time we will get into, like I said, the nitty gritty. Like, why the fuck are they bugging us? And should we really care? So I'll give you this much so you don't have to wait in too much anticipation. The answer to the second question is yes. So stay tuned.
I had a lot of fun this episode. This is a good time. Really good way to, get through my day. It's always good to start off with some, be able to distract myself from the surging testosterone.
Well, that's what Pleiadians are here for, man. So you're feeling good. There's some evidence right there for you, right? Just speaking their names and what they do here on Earth is positive. It helps us fight the good fight, right, Tasker?
The good fight indeed, which, as we said, we will get more into next episode because we really don't want to rob you of any of that. Like you just got to hang tight for that. So, but till then, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. As per usual, though, the opposite of Pleiadians, one could argue, is Count Chocula himself, who, off the top of your head, do you know if he fits into a certain starseed?
You know what? I don't think so, because most starseeds are benevolent. Most starseeds are here to help, but Count Chocula is only here for 3 things. He's here to fuck. He's here to take your kids, and he's here to fuck your kids.
Well said and articulated.
Thank you. Yes. I don't think he's a starseed. He's malevolent. He's the devil incarnate. Yeah, it just kind of reminds me with your previous statements. There was this thing where I guess President Jimmy Carter went to somewhere in Europe. I don't remember exactly.
and he meant to say like he's really like happy to be here and that he loves the country and the people, but in their native language, and he fucked it up. So the literal translation was that he came there, he loved them all carnally, and that he wasn't leaving.
Okay, aggressive. Right on.
The translation of I wanna fuck you all and I'm not leaving.
That's awesome. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Telling it how it is. But I did go to Target again yesterday. I had to get some stuff. Still seeing the cereal boxes. Have you seen any cereal boxes for Count Chocula?
Haven't paid attention as of recent. We've just been doing the curbside pickup, so can't say for certain, but I'll check again, because for all we know, maybe now they have their more wider distribution, because they can't be too obvious, you know.
Yeah, it was the season is upon us where Count Chocula makes his return, and with that season, I need you guys out there listening to be very cautious, not only for yourselves, but for your loved ones. I need you to lock your doors. I need you to, if you do any research into Count Chocula and the atrocities he's committed on mankind, I need you to magnetize your hard drives, throw them immediately, throw them into the deepest parts of the ocean, and hope to God they don't find you, because like we said, it's a little too late for Tasker and I. You guys can still be safe though.
Yep, we're going to go down swinging, and we will get this shit out to you. Like we said, that episode probably will be our last, but it'll be well worth it. We think we can make it fun too. And that's really what's been difficult, because it's such like harrowing subject matter to make it entertaining and digestible, because there's some parts of it it's just impossible. You just got to swallow it cold as it comes. But other ones, you know, we could spruce it up a bit. So, you know, it's like, you know, like we established before, we're kind of like our own little road show now. So we're just trying to make it, you know, fit the vibe.
Exactly, guys. So please stay safe out there. All right. It is upon us. Be safe.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this episode, however, it would be super, super helpful if you went on iTunes, hit us with the 5-star. And if you'd like a little written review, tell us what you think would be amazing. Will help us to kind of boost the ranks, expand our little community here. We are on Spotify. Shoot us a follow. We have new episodes every Wednesday as per usual. And so far it's looking like that's not going to change anytime soon. Instagram at CEOTPK, Twitter at CEOTPK1. Hit us up on Facebook, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. You can shoot us an email, ceotpk1@gmail.com. On our Discord, where actually that would be the most convenient if you did want to submit your local legend. Either send it to our email or discord.gg/b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. If that's difficult to write down, because I don't blame you, it's a fucking stupid number, go on our Facebook. We should have links all up in there. Also, if you have money that you want to give us because you think we deserve it, ko.fi.com/CEOTPK. To all you who have donated so far, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, we are definitely, we have our own little budget for our podcast with what we get from there. And it's going to be all towards the show, all to make this a better listening experience for all you guys. So anything you give to us helps. Don't feel the need like you have to. You don't have to donate. It's more than enough that you're here listening to us.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it a better way. And as Tasker said, yes, we have our own little fund going for podcast related stuff that we need to get or should get in the future. Believe it or not, despite how we sound on recording, we are actually decent with our money. So yes, we have a separate fund ready to roll, and we do not touch it. Otherwise, it's only for podcast stuff. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to us and putting up with our bullshit. Another announcement too, we do have our YouTube channel up and running. We are slowly but surely uploading the past episodes to YouTube. So we're getting caught up right now, but go ahead on YouTube, search our podcast name, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind, and you'll find us there. Feel free to subscribe and listen on there if you want.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're actually like showing up on like search engines and shit now. Like beforehand, it was like we basically didn't exist.
Yep. And now the whole first page of Google is dedicated to us. So we couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you for everything. Honestly, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's those clicks that get us noticed, and that's what makes it worthwhile. So thank you all for being here, and we will continue to keep the show going.
Amen to that. But listen, everybody, whether you are a Pleiadian starseed or if you're like Tasker and you're an extra Pleiadian starseed, just remember the truth is out there somewhere.
Not only is it not, but next episode you will see how far the knot hole we go down. I like how whenever you come in, there's always like clouds, like it's a rap music video.
Oh man, you know me, man. I just changed my coil this morning, so